Do you also have a personal problem that you would like to discuss with Bertolt in the podcast? We would love to have you as our guest. Check out the link in the show notes of this episode for more info. And who knows, we will see each other in the studio.
Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Well, good to have you here. Good afternoon. Can you tell me something about yourself?
My name is Nicole. I don't know how far you want me to go back.
Birth? Before birth?
Before birth. Before birth, my parents were living in India. Then I was.
But you're bilingual, right? Your parents were Dutch. We had a talk up front, right?
Yes.
Your parents are Dutch, but you were brought up abroad.
Yes, I was 3 months old and we moved to Colombia. And then from Colombia, 4 years there. And then 4 years in Turkey, Istanbul. 2 years in Venezuela, and then I did my whole high school in Singapore till I was 18. And then I did come to the Netherlands for a year or so, and then I ended up in Eindhoven at a boarding house. I went to an English school there, and that's where I met Josje. And
a friend of you who is in the studio also for the listeners, right?
That's right.
But
yes.
you picked up some Dutch too along the road.
Well, I always spoke Dutch at home. My parents always spoke Dutch to us. Yeah. So my sister and I spoke Dutch fluent, but our whole education, our schooling was in English. Yeah. So my written Dutch is very bad.
Yeah.
And, then I did hotel management in London, and then I needed to learn my languages. So I also worked in Paris, and then I worked in München to learn German and French and Dutch and English.
So we could do this in German too.
I'm 9.
No, me. Ambition, vielleicht.
Yeah.
Also, so this is an introduction, but you are here for a problem, a dilemma, or a question, however you would frame it. So let's get started with this. What brings you here?
Yeah, that I have come to the conclusion through speaking with some friends and that I tend to run away from my problems. I stick my head in the sand.
Or problems in general?
Not problems, but situations that hurt me.
Right.
So if you hurt my feelings, I walk away.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of this?
Also high maintenance situations that if we're a little group and we're going to go on holiday together and it's with friends, and then I say all of a sudden I can't come anymore because of a situation, and then they get mad at me, then it's like, fine. Then
so as soon as people get mad at you, then you have the tendency to run away, to close
up and think I don't need this in my life, and then I close up, and that's fine. But what's recently been happening a lot is that it's with my mother and my daughter. And
both.
That's very close. Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Both.
Do you have more children than one? Or
I do have a younger child also, or the younger one is 18, but it's with my oldest daughter.
And how old is she?
24.
24. And you have the same pattern applies to your mother? Right?
Yeah.
Do both your parents still live?
No, my father passed away.
Yeah. So it's with your mother and your eldest daughter?
Yes.
Being 25?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of a conflict with your mother and or eldest daughter where this happened?
Well, my mother has almost hurt me my whole life. My mother has always been a person... So we're different personalities. My mother is more from etiquette... socialite, the life we've lived was always expatriate lifestyle, so there's a bit of snobbery there. And I like to think of myself as the opposite, more down to earth, getting to know people, so on. So there's a bit of conflict there. She likes to mold me to be somebody more she deems
What does she want you to be then? When this molding would be successful, how would you look like?
Well, she would have me dress much better in more high fashion clothes, and that they change those clothes regularly, so that I don't wear that same coat for years in a row. And my attitude is, well, that coat is still good. I can still wear it, because I'm also very much of a Greenpeace type of person, and I get annoyed with this consumer mentality and fashion and this. So there's conflict there a lot. And she'll say to me, oh, can't you just put some more makeup on? You look a lot better with makeup on. And I'm like, see, and that direct, like, sure, maybe that's what she feels. And I ask her, but what it then boils down to is, well, don't you love me then? If I'm not behaving the way you want me to behave. Right. Yeah. So that's been a conflict. And my daughter is also like, I'm just making a silly example, but for example, I'll buy a pair of socks, like 3 pairs of socks at a very cheap shop, because socks, in my opinion, are socks.
Right.
But then you also get people that buy socks that are maybe 25, 30, 40 euros because they have a certain brand. Yep. And I personally find that a complete waste of money. So with my mother, it's that way. But with my daughter, I think she sees me as a bit of a loser. This sort of...
Why? Do you have an example for this?
Oh, because also there's always so immaculate, the nails, the hair,
So does your daughter...
beautiful people.
Does your daughter in a way resemble your mother then?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they both fancy to show themselves, to behave in a good way, to act like being upper class or whatever.
That's it. It's always... So I also see that a little bit of... So I'm exploring all of this because I'm also trying to get to the root of this, because different strokes for different folks. I think because it's so close to me, I feel that they put such a high value on looks and exterior and how you look and how you behave, that I'm the opposite.
Right.
I don't mind not having makeup on. I don't mind having my hair in a frazzly little ponytail and wearing a tracksuit.
Yep.
If I need to pop to the shop to get some bread.
Yeah. They
won't be seen. They won't be caught dead. Well, that's more my mother. Yeah. She won't even fetch the newspaper.
But in a way, your daughter pushes the same buttons as your mother does. So
my mother portrays it more to me. So my mother wants me to be like her and be far more glamorous. Whereas my daughter is glamorous, and she's never ever said to me that she wants me to be more glamorous. But because I know I'm not that, I am assuming, and I'm saying assuming that she sees me also a bit as this hobo.
Yeah, kind of similar judgment as your mother has.
Yes,
but
that
regarding to your mother, you're sure, and regarding to your daughter, you didn't test this assumption.
No, but it's sometimes her attitude towards me I find
and
very
gives you
rude
the feeling,
and disrespectful. Yes.
Yeah. So when you don't do what your mother wants you to do,
then fights break. Then there's conflict.
Yeah, but how would your mother describe you not doing what she wants you to do? How does she see you? What kind of person does she see?
She probably still loves me, but it's like I feel like I disappoint her.
Yeah, and my question is, how do you think that she is judging you? What kind of idea does she carry with her about you?
Well, that I don't make an effort, that I could look so much better with what
And
I'm
how
doing.
would you describe somebody who doesn't make an effort and doesn't look good? You mentioned some words already, like a
hobo,
loser, a hober.
Yeah, well, because she also makes remarks to other people, which also hurts me. Even though I don't know this person, but she'll make ugly remarks.
Like?
I don't even dare to say it.
Yeah, do it, please. It's audio. We don't see you.
Yes, but it's... No, but...
There's a little bit shame here, I
there
presume.
There is.
Okay. Shame dies in exposure, as they say. Just share the shame and tell the words your mother uses to describe you.
It's just very bad. It's dikke lelijke.
Ooh.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it's good.
So that's
very
she
ugly
speaks
word.
Dutch to us. So that's why I'm saying
fat and ugly.
Yeah, I can hardly listen to the words.
Fat and ugly.
Yes, and things that, first of all, like It's just unacceptable to me.
And very, very rude, right?
And hurtful, because, that could be a really lovely person inside. But because she's judging the exterior of that person, the outside of this person.
And it's not just that person, it's her daughter, and it's your mother.
Well, because she does it to others and says such ugly things to other people.
She's judging continuously to everybody.
Yes.
But my question is about her judgments towards you.
Well, she'll say, like, just put something on your face because you look so bland.
No. The question is, like you say, I'm a loser or a hobo.
No, that's the feelings I get. She doesn't say anything. She just says you could look so much better if you dress nicer and if you put
some effort into it.
Yeah.
Okay. When you would have put some effort into your looks and whatever, the way you behave, and whatever she wants, if you were a proper girl, how would she then describe you?
Oh, then she will be...
You're smiling now.
Yes, and it's like, that's what I mean. Oh, look at you now. You look gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So looking gorgeous is the objective.
Yes.
Are there more words that belong to the objective? Gorgeous, well-dressed, whatever.
Yeah, and
what kind of person did she want it to mold you to?
Well, to a model, a supermodel, or somebody who you feel proud walking next to on the street.
And she has been ashamed for a lot of times?
She has expressed that she would be ashamed to be seen with those type of people. So my assumption is, although she's never said it in words to me, but I can only conclude that if she says it about others and then I look a bit scruffy or not dressed to the nines, that she then also feels like that.
So these insults she has about other people, did she express similar insults to you then?
No, she just says, you could look so much better.
But she didn't say, you look terrible.
She might look. This has gone over the past, I don't know,
decades.
Decades. There might have been a time that she says, "You look like an idiot."
So now let's forget about what your daughter or your mother might think about you. The way they behave towards you, as well, your daughter as your mother. Well dressed, behave how they should behave, fitting in society in the higher upper classes, so to say.
Yeah.
This gives you a feeling that you don't belong to
inferior
to this realm, right?
Yeah.
Inferior. Okay, now then let me ask the question directly to you. If you feel inferior, how would you then, on your deepest, blackest moment, describe yourself?
I feel I'm going to cry.
That's okay. I'm here. And we do have tissues.
No, it's okay. How do I feel?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
So in the deepest moments, the darkest moments, where you feel inferior, you use the word inferior, how would you then describe yourself? What kind of words go around in your mind, in your head, that you judge yourself with?
Well, not good enough, rejected, that.
Yeah, we can do better, because who is a person who is not good enough? How would you describe a person being not good enough and so being rejected for this? A nobody. I'm just looking for words that are floating in your mind, I presume.
Not good enough. Not good enough. I wouldn't really say failure, but just somebody who's not seen, somebody that's rejected, somebody that doesn't count. And I find that behavior very superficial. So I find it almost like unjust.
We're on the same page. I'm just looking for a word now. You also said not seen. For a little girl, and also for an older woman with a daughter and a mother, it's very painful not to be seen. So it's not to be seen at all. Does this describe your feeling of being rejected, that you are not seen as who you are?
Yeah. That's what it boils down to.
And how would you describe somebody who is not seen?
Like as in words like sad or unjust?
No, when you have the feeling I'm somebody who is not seen by others, are you then a nobody or a zero, or what is it that makes you?
Like a nobody. That's really, I've never even thought about it like that.
That's why you're here.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I have so much time and patience for the lesser. I say lesser people, the ones that have no voice, the ones that can't show off. Say the man in the street sitting, begging. This is a person.
Have no voice.
The ones with no voice.
The one that are not seen and not heard.
Yes. And that they've been brought down to that probably because of the injustices of society. And through those people that have those airs and graces. And that
being not
bothers
seen,
me a lot.
Right. And I feel it when I'm sitting here with you, and I see it, and I can understand it. And I'm trying to unravel what's the exact root, the exact cause of all these feelings. And you said a lot of interesting, valuable things, like being not seen, not heard, not having a voice. Are these the words that are very close to the root of your emotions?
It's just the fickleness of humankind. Like, why can't we just all accept each other for who we are and celebrate our differences?
So there's also injustice there.
That's totally injustice. I think if there was one word, it would be the injustice of it.
You feel unfairly treated.
Yes, because I have something else to bring to the table. I might not be the glamorous person who's had spent 3 hours having my hair, makeup done, and have what do you call it by the Oscars, like a stylist or whatever. But that's important for some reason.
But it's not what you want.
Absolutely not.
And it's not what fits to who you want to be.
No, look, I mean, it's nice if people take it. Like, I don't want to say we all have to now go out and look shabby. Look as how you want to look. But, I mean, if you, take care of yourself, that's fine. But also if you don't want to, it's also fine.
Yeah.
Like, anything goes for me.
You don't have to convince me. We're on the same page here. So your mother, she didn't really see you. She didn't really hear you. She treated you unfairly. So what, as a young daughter, did you do to close this gap or to deal with your mother, or to have a good relationship? How did it affect you, and how did it affect your relation with your mother?
There's always friction there. And I always feel that she's quite childlike and possibly shallow. I think the word shallow is what I'm looking for. Whereas I then, forgive the arrogance, but feel myself a bit more...
less superficial.
Yeah, less superficial, and I can see more the humanness of people and the important...
But my question was, thank you very much, but the question was, how did this influence your relationship as a young child with your mother?
Well, always friction, and me trying to it was always like fighting, to be like telling her my side of the story. I remember saying so many times, can't you just accept me for who I am?
And what was her response to this?
Well, she does, because she loves me. The funny thing, she loves me unconditionally. I mean, she thinks I'm the most... She loves me so much. That's the thing. She loves me. And that's where we are two different people. But
how can it be that she loves you and you really believe this?
And it's true.
And at the same time judges you all the time?
Because those are her core values. But she values looks above anything.
Those values don't fit to you.
No. And then she'll say that I don't see it her way. That if I could only see it her way, I'd know what she was talking about. And then I say, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I simply don't care. And be like, ach, Nikki, toch.
But how, this puzzles me. How can you be so sure that she loves you? In the same time, she judges you all the time.
Yeah, because... Well, because I've said to her recently, another incident happened, which really upset me. And then I do the passive-aggressive. Instead of screaming, yelling, and fighting, I just don't talk. I shut down. And then I ignore. And then I did speak to a good friend of mine. And it's like, for the first time, why don't I expose me? And say, well, this is the reason why I'm upset. Because, I do quite a bit for you. And you always say I do quite a bit for you. But I ask you one favor and you won't do it. It's a bit of a different story.
Yeah. This is what you said to your mother, right?
Yes. I thought, let me just tell her then what's wrong. Again, open. Yeah. And then she goes, oh, Nicole, how can you even think like that? Oh, my gosh. You are my everything. You are my...
Well, sorry to interrupt you. In my definition of love, your mother doesn't love you. Maybe she supports you, unconditionally. I don't know. But to me, this is not love. I'm puzzled,
well,
really,
to me
that you
too,
use...
then, and that's probably the big pain that I feel. That somewhere deep down inside, it can't be love.
It's not love. I just tell you it's not love. It's nice that you use these words to hold up a kind of story between you and your mother that you both love one another. But this is not love. This is judgment all the time.
Yes, it's always judgment. That's for sure.
Love is contradictory to judgment.
Yeah.
So sorry to tell you, but your mother does not love you.
Yeah.
How is this
the
to
way
hear?
we understand love
how
to
is
be.
this? How is this to hear? How do these words resonate?
I think very deep down inside, that's what I felt.
But you said very sure a few minutes ago, very convinced, my mother loves me
that's
unconditionally.
what she says to me.
Yeah, but I'm not talking with the mother here. I'm not talking with Nicole.
Personally, no, I also feel the same. And that's where the pain lies. And that's why I sometimes feel like a broken record. And
you feel the same? What do you mean with the same?
What you're saying is probably what is the crux of the matter. And that's where the hurt comes.
And I think the hurt also comes with the fact you are all the time trying to gain the love of your mother. And whether she doesn't want to give you or isn't unable, but you just won't get it. You won't get it, Nicole. You won't get it. It's a fruitless pursuit.
Yeah.
And the longer you strive, the painfuler it will become.
Yeah.
So for 59 years, close to 60 years, you have done your best to gain the love of your mother.
Yeah.
And until now, you weren't very successful.
No.
So how many years do you still go on trying to gain this love? Or would it, this is, of course, a rhetorical question, when can you decide to let go?
I think there has to come some form of acceptance. Did you ever see that film, Despicable Me?
Explain for those who don't know the film.
Oh, well, it's with Gru. It's sort of the main character who always does really nasty things. You know, he's on the side of the one who's going to conquer the world and destroy the world, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's also got a good heart because he's got 3 little children that he somehow adopted. But anyway, in one of those little fragments, you see him as a child and he's just made a rocket ship of macaroni. And he goes, "Look, Mom." And the mom goes, "Mm." And then he comes with some other thing, like he's made something very prestigious, whatever, and she going, eh. And that reminds me of me. Always, "Mom, look what I've done." Or, you know, that where it's just like, I think I need to come to the acceptance. What you just said, like you can carry on and on and on till kingdom comes, but it is what it is.
Now, what holds you back? And this is, I think, the key question of this conversation. What holds you back to stop trying to win her love and just accept her as she is?
Yeah.
What's holding you back?
My gosh, that's a good question. Well, I just need to do a flip thing, actually, and decide instead of constantly...
This question confuses you in a way, right? It puzzles you. Because it's an easy question, but it's difficult to answer.
It is easy. It's just I am the only one that can change me. I've tried very hard, not necessarily to change her, but to make her see me for
to change the pattern between you. For 59 years.
Yeah.
You're still young, right? You're not 60 yet.
Yeah. No, I'm 18 till I die anyway.
I'm 65, so you're young.
Yes.
Enjoy life this year.
Yeah.
This month.
Yes.
Yeah. But you've done so for 59 years, unsuccessfully. So what holds you back? That's the question. What holds you back to just let go of your pursuit to gain her love or acceptance or whatever?
I have no answer to that. I think because, you know, it's just so imprinted. You always think that a mother and a daughter should get on well. It's sort of, and also because I want it.
I share my life story with you, with my mother. Because for more than 45 years, I actively tried to create a good relationship with my mother. And I always failed, as my sister did. We did both our best to gain the love of our mother. And it was never, never, never good enough. There was also something she wanted from us. We didn't deliver, whatever. Always having comments or criticize or whatever. day in, day out. And I did everything in my life, everything for more than 45 years to create a good relationship, being nice, being friendly, overachieve, whatever.
Yeah.
It was never good enough until my wife said to me, the problem is not your mother. The problem is not your expectations about your mother or her expectations about you. You can deal with all of them. The real problem is your expectations about yourself. And I asked my wife, what do you mean with my expectations about myself? And then she said, the problem is that you expect from yourself to be a good son, to be a good son to your mother. And you cannot live with the idea that you are a bad son.
Yeah.
And everything you do in your life is trying to create this image in yourself. It was not about my mother, in myself, that I am a good son. I didn't want to die being a bad son. And the moment I found out that this was really true, I made a phone call with my mother. I said to her, I have something to tell you. I was about your age. And I said to her, all my life I'm trying to be a good son for more than 45 years. And I have come to the conclusion that I have failed doing so. Yeah. And she said, you are right.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. She said, you are right. Which was, of course, for me, astonishing. But the interesting thing was, she thought, she was under the impression, now he is going to really do his best to be a good son.
Okay.
And I said, Mother, I will stop this. I will do whatever I do, but I will not try to prove to you or to myself that I am a good son. But don't you love me then? She said. Don't you love me then? I said, it's not. It has nothing to do with love. Of course I love you. And I will visit you. If you need me, I'll be there. I'll do everything as a son. What a son has to do, I'll do so because I am your son. But I will do so because I want to do it out of free will and not to prove to you or to myself if I'm a good son or not. And this will be, for me, good enough. And after this phone call, everything changed. Yeah. When she heard me and when she said nasty things, then I could just say friendly, Ma, that's not that nice what you are saying now. And when she said to me, I have to always be careful what I say and look at my words because, and I say, you are right. Be careful what you say, because if you just blurt out everything you think, you can hurt people. You can hurt me too. And I could react calmly because I didn't try to achieve the self-image being a good son. So my self-image, negative self-image, being a bad son, this was the root of all my problems. And I have the assumption, because you were hesitative answering my question, what's the root of the problem? I have the assumption that you don't want to live with the idea that you are a bad daughter for your mother.
Yeah. I don't want to be a bad...
You want to be a good
daughter. But I also get... You said something just now like, oh, you're always so hypersensitive. Oh, you know, this and this and that. And then I'm like, it still grates me, though.
Yeah, because you want to be a good daughter. Just
let it be.
Let it be. There are a lot of things in life to be achieved. There are a lot of things you can do, but trying to be a good daughter isn't one of them. Just let it go. Which is very difficult because it's about you as identity as a daughter and your mother, which is the base of your life. It's your mother. Right? But if she all the time gives you the impression that you are a bad daughter, stop the pursuit of being a good daughter. It's your internal conflict. It had nothing to do with you and your mother.
It is an internal conflict because also for a long time, you know, I just didn't like her and this and that. And I thought, well, that's it. I don't have a good... But she's 88. And, you know, I'm also aware... See, I don't want to live with regrets in my older years. Yep. So that if she passes away, you know, it's human nature to forget all the bad things and to remember the good. And there are obviously some good things about her. And that I will end up beating myself up thinking, couldn't I have made a bit more of an effort? Couldn't I have turned a blind eye?
Hello, Nicole. The answer is no. You have been striving to be a good daughter for 59 years now. Yeah. You will never succeed. Yeah. Stop the quest.
Yeah. And just take her for face value.
Be gentle, be nice, whatever you do with humans in your surroundings, and take care of her. But not to prove yourself or her to be a good daughter just because you want to do it. Period. Yeah. That's it. I had the same conversation with my sister, and I explained to her, your problem is that you don't want to live with the idea of being a bad daughter. And she completely agreed with me. But still she carried on trying to be a good daughter until my mother died. And she didn't succeed.
Yeah.
My mother was on her dying bed, so to say, breathing out her last breaths. And my sister was there. Because of Corona, only one of us could be there. And my sister was there at this specific moment in a plastic tent. And my sister waited for the last minutes to hear my mother say, I really love you.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
But my mother didn't. Your mother says she loves you, but these are just words.
Yeah.
These are just words. These are just words like she dresses up for the outworld, for the world, how to behave. Your mother knows how to behave.
Oh, yeah. She once gave me a book on etiquette. Really?
Yeah. But she knows how to behave. But I have the assumption that she, like I said before, she doesn't love you. For me, love is contradictory to judgment.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, how does this all sound? Because this is, I think, a quite heavy message to consume. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm in tears. It still hurts.
Yeah, because you have to live with the idea that for your mother, you were not a good daughter.
And I had a sister, and she still till this day says, it was the kindest, sweetest girl in the world.
Your mother says so?
Yeah,
about your sister?
She played the one off against the other. No, my sister was the good one.
I don't think this is love either, no. So you said about 15 minutes before your mother loved you unconditionally. Maybe you should...
She says so, though.
Yeah, she says so, but I can say a lot of things. Mass murderers can say they love people too. This is maybe a rude comparison, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Words don't count, behavior counts.
Yeah.
Don't take her for her words, take her for her behavior.
Yeah, but she also solves all problems with money, or things like that.
You don't have a real loving relationship with your mother. You never had, and I have the assumption you will never get it. This is my assumption.
This is a flaw in her, though.
And it's her problem, and you don't have to understand the problem. You don't have to solve the problem. You don't have to live with the problem. It's her problem. But as long as you want to be a good, loving daughter, then you create a problem for yourself. And you can stop creating this problem by letting go of this desired image to be a good daughter.
And just live my life the way I want to live it.
Yeah.
And then the rest, let it be.
And take care of her. Because this is what I did. Because this was my struggle. I wanted to stop this quest trying to be a good boy or a good son. But I didn't want to break the connection with her.
Yeah.
Me
neither. That's just the thing.
But you can take care of your mother without mutual love. Without trying to be a good daughter.
Yeah.
But do you agree?
I do, because I feel it. I mean, it's more a feeling.
But do you agree that the core of your problem is that you strive to be a good daughter?
Yeah. I always want to prove to her, look at me, see me.
You're free now. You're free. You can set yourself free.
Yeah.
With one decision, stop this quest. It's really, on a theoretical level, it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. I understand. But the problem is a very easy problem to understand.
Yeah.
There's a sigh there.
Yeah, because also on the deathbed, I was there when my father passed away, and he had cancer, so I sort of said goodbye and sort of released him to say it's okay, really honestly, because then that way he could be out of his suffering. And then he said, he had already a crust on the palate he was literally half dead already, and then he says, but what about you and your mother?
Good question.
He was holding on to dear life to always be the
mediator.
Because I always turned to my father, and then when he was out of the picture, there was only her. Yeah. And my sister had also already passed away, so there was literally just me and her. Your sister
passed away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he knew also there was always a conflict, and he was my go-to. And then I assured him, I said, don't worry about it, Dad. Mom and I will figure it out.
Yeah, but you didn't.
No, not really. Well, look, we communicate, we talk, and like you say, I go visit. But the fact remains is she hurts me a lot.
Yeah, but I hope you draw the conclusion out of this conversation that you hurt yourself with trying to be a good daughter.
Yeah.
And this is where you are sensitive. So if she gives you the impression that you do something wrong or whatever, then immediately the hurt is, I am not good enough as a daughter.
Yep.
I'm not a good daughter.
Yeah, that's it.
Stop the quest.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you feel and think about the problem you enter the studio with right now?
Yeah, I'm the type of person that I need to digest it, and I do feel that what you say is absolutely so, and that I do need to do a little bit of a paradigm shift here, or some sort of a
let go, just let go. Yeah. Just let go, letting go.
Yeah,
it's not a paradigm shift.
It's almost like a mind-blowing thing to know that there's even such a thing, you know. Because love is love, and she says she loves me, but it's not the way.
It's words.
It's words, exactly.
Yeah. It's not a reality. And the question I have for you by the end of this podcast is, how does this influence the relationship with your daughter? Are you there under the impression that you are a bad mother too, or
yes, yes?
I have the assumption this problem is minor, not that big as with your mother, right?
No, it's not. But by what you've just said, it immediately solves my problem with my daughter. Because there I must show her that I love her, and literally be there for her, and show her in my own way. And I might not be the person that she wants me to be, but that's irrelevant. That's
for you. She resembles your mother.
Yes,
but as you get rid of the problem,
two peas in a pod.
And if you get rid of the problem with your mother, then the problem with your daughter is solved. It's
automatically solved. Yeah. Quite right. Yes.
So I think we are at the end of this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, with all love and pleasure, and I'm very curious how this will all work out.
Yes.
Your mother still lives.
Yeah.
And you're still young.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time to hopefully be free of this deep. It's a deep hurt, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And I sometimes fear that I bore my friends to tears with it, because it does pop up regularly.
You don't bore me. I experienced this. A very nice conversation. Yeah. And hopefully you can make a real fundamental decision of letting go of this pursuit to be a good daughter. This is the core, right?
Yeah. It's so funny that just seeing it from a slightly different angle can change so big.
I was looking for 45 years. I didn't see it. It was my blind spot.
Mm. Yeah.
I thought it's normal to be a good son, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But
kids strive for it.
Of course, yeah.
Kids strive to be accepted by their parents.
Yeah.
I think.
You did. I know. I'm for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what I was trying to do, and it never came. It was always a bit with that meh, Allah.
Yeah.
You know, the mother of Guru.
Right.
And that's sort of how I feel also. Like, no matter what I do,
it will never be good enough.
Ever.
Okay.
Goed.
Dankjewel. Dankeschön. Gut, dass Sie hier waren. So ein bisschen enden mit Deutsch, so auf Deutsch.
Yeah.
But good you were here, and we'll stay in touch.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wondering how our guest is doing these days? Well, we recently caught up with them. Stay tuned to hear their latest update.
Hi, it's Nicole here. It's been about 3 months since I did the podcast with Bertolt. Yeah, everything is going well with me. The relationship with both my mother and my daughter have improved enormously. I look back on the conversation frequently, and it was quite harsh when Bertolt says your mother doesn't love you. But I am convinced she does, but just in her own way. And her way is not my way. And I think that's the biggest lesson I took away from it, that I can't control things. I just have to accept the way things are. Whether you like them or not, obviously you have choices whether whether you would like to continue with a relationship or not, if it's toxic. But in this case, I think it has helped. I have become less controlled, I suppose, in my way of seeing things. And yeah, so it's been 3 months on, and it's going well. I think that's all I really have to say about that.